Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a Dave and Buster's in Minecraft step by step, block by block, including the interior for all of your city building needs. Let me show you what this tutorial includes. We of course have the entire outside of the build, which we have hopefully seen by now. Heading inside, we have the arcade floor, which has over 10 unique games to play. Once we have played those games, we of course need to go and get our prizes. There is also a reception area, a restaurant/bar area, a kitchen, and last but certainly not least, the bathroom. This is the amount of space required to make the build. I would recommend copying this grid into your world, and if you do, to find the starting position, begin at the front left hand corner of your grid, count backwards, find the 11th block, and then count to the right and find the 3rd block. That is where we start. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. Begin the build by placing 12 light blue concrete in a row on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then place a red sandstone wall, followed by a black stained glass pane, leave a gap, place another glass, then a sandstone, and then 12 more blue concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then, extending towards the back of the build, place 28. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Then, extending across the back of the build, place 8 light blue concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then, place 7 light grey concrete in front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Extend to the right by 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Place a door. I'm using an oak door. Then place 6 more light grey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Extend inwards by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then place 4 light blue concrete extending right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then connect all the way back to where we first started. And this will roughly be the floor plan for our build. Next, we are going to work on the front of our build. Come all the way down to this block right here. Place a row of 3 light blue concrete on top of this block. 1, 2, 3. Then place a birch slab in front of it. Place a white concrete on top, and then to the left. Extend the white concrete up by 3. 1, 2, 3. Then place 2 orange concrete on top, 1, 2, and then a polished andesite slab on top of them. Next, we are just going to place a row of birch planks extending down from the white concrete, like this. We can even extend both the light blue concrete behind the birch slab all the way across to the right, and then down to this corner. We will then place a birch slab here, birch plank to the right, extend down like this, which will then allow us to extend the white concrete all the way across. What I'm looking to do is basically just make a bunch of shapes. So we extend the bottom of the white concrete across to here, extend up by 3, 1, 2, 3, place 2 rows of orange concrete, 1, 2, and then a polished andesite slab. We're just matching the opposite side. We can then extend the slabs all the way over to the left. And this gives us a pretty large canvas to fill in. But before we do, we are just going to extend the red sandstone walls that we have down at the bottom here. We are going to extend them up by 2 rows. We will do the same with the black stained glass pane, like this. We may even exchange the blue concrete that is above the door here for white, just like this. And then we are going to fill in the light blue concrete sections, like so. We will also add an extra row of light blue concrete just left, and we'll do the same to the right of the door as well. And then that will prepare us for later on. We will then also fill this section in using the light blue concrete too. We also want to add a layer of birch slabs like this that just sits underneath the white concrete that we have here. We also have to fill this area in using white concrete too. So when I say fill in, what I really mean is we just have to connect the rows left and right. We are just matching whatever we have. So all the way up to here is where the white concrete will stop. I'm doing a horrible job right now, but we'll get it when we pass over with the orange. So we then start extending the orange over. We fill in these gaps that you probably don't have because you're probably better at building than I am. And then we fill this area in with orange concrete. And this is what we should have, which kind of reminds me of toothpaste. This next part is a tad tricky. We want to place rows of birch planks in front of the rows of light blue concrete left and right of the entrance. We will then extend these birch slabs in between them forwards. We will then add an additional 2 rows of birch slabs, 1, 2, extending in front of this. And then we will place a row of 7 white concrete on top of this block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a birch slab as well. We will then extend the birch slab to the right, and the goal is to line up with the opposite side. And once we have, we can just extend white concrete all the way down. We can add a row of white concrete both to the bottom and to the top of this area like so. We will then add a white concrete in each one of the 4 corners, and then blue concrete along the inside of this shape. It should just form a circle. Then we will fill the center of this in using orange terracotta, just like so. Then we are going to come over to the right side here, and this is where things start getting a little bit weird. We will place a birch slab here, followed by a birch plank. We will then extend the birch plank up to equal the height of the orange concrete, and then we will extend the birch down to the ground and join to the ground with a light blue concrete. In addition to this, we also want to place a birch slab, I do believe here, so kind of just lining, or maybe even here, lining up with the upper half of the blue concrete. We want to have the same thing on the opposite side as well. I know it's strange, but stick with me. We will place a birch slab, birch plank, extend the planks up to equal the height of the orange concrete, add an additional slab in this position, once again kind of just lining up with this blue concrete here, join the birch planks down to the ground with a light blue concrete, actually joining down to the ground. Then we are going to connect the birch slabs together around the back here, like this, and also to the building, just like this. We'll also do it at the bottom, so like where we have the birch slabs joining back to the sign at the bottom, they will also join back to the building, like this, if that makes sense. We are also going to just remove this row of birch planks down here, so that we can kind of, and maybe even, yeah, just that one row. And then I think that, should we remove this row? No. I think that that looks pretty good. There we go. Next, we are going to make the footpath and parking area. To begin, we are just going to place a row of large ferns against the inside of this front wall on both the right and left sides of the building. Just like that. We will then remove we'll make it 3 rows of grass. So 1, 2, 3, like this, extending across the front of the building. So just clipping underneath the pillars, and then 2 rows in front of them would be the best way to describe this. Just all the way across to the opposite side. And then we can fill this in with smooth stone. And once we've done that, we also just have to remove up to the actual entrance. I'm just going to place the actual smooth stone up to the door, but we'll probably replace that with something later on. We also have to remove from here across to here, and we will replace all of this grass with smooth stone. And then, all the way over here on the right side, we will remove 2 rows of grass/grid, replace this with smooth stone, and the same on the left side as well. Then we will remove these patches of grid/grass that we have here. And we will make car parking spaces, which is done by placing rows of 1, 2, 3 cyan terracotta, then a white concrete, 3 terracotta, white concrete, 3 terracotta. We're going to place yellow carpet on top of the terracotta, and then extend each one of the blocks, both, I guess, underneath now and then in between forwards, and this will naturally form car parking spaces. And there we go, we want to have the exact same thing on the opposite side as well. So 1, 2, 3, white concrete, 1, 2, 3, white concrete, 1, 2, 3. We will extend each one of these forwards. Perfect. And then we are going to place a white concrete over here with an acacia pressure plate on top. Throw down a loom, open it up, black banner in there with white dye, apply both the fess pattern and the bordure pattern, and then stick that banner in front. We can actually keep that loom, we'll be using it in just one moment. But before I forget, I want to apply some paintings to the front of the building. Now, you could leave this as it is, and I do think that it looks quite nice as it is. Looks pretty cool. But I would recommend adding some paintings to the front of the building. So we're looking for some 1x2, or some 2x2s rather. And we want them in these positions. I think it will just be easier for me to just show you the boxes. It kind of looks like glasses. They kind of want to occupy this space. It doesn't really matter too much what they are as long as you're happy with them, but they're basically like 2 rows away from everything, from each other, and then from the edges of the building. And I'm just going to keep these 2 because I don't want to spend forever picking out paintings, but they're great. And then we'll do the same on the opposite side. So again, 2 rows away from each other and from the edges of the building is what I would aim to do. And I don't want repeats. That is literally the only one that I'm not having. That's not great either. Okay, well, I guess it's got... Okay, alright, you know what? Fine. Fine, have it your way. I'll change them later manually, but we'll have something which should look like this. And the next thing we have to do is actually make the sign itself using banners. So I'm just going to clean up my inventory a bit. Begin by opening a loom. Place an orange banner in there with white dye. The first letter we have to make is D. This is the pale sinister pattern. Put orange dye in there and apply the lozenge pattern. Put white dye back in, apply the pale dexter, chief, and then base patterns. Then A is pale dexter, pale sinister, chief, and then fess. Next is V, which is the pale dexter, and then bend sinister pattern. Next is E, which is pale dexter, chief, fess, and base. Next, we have to make an ampersand, which is the @ sign, for those of you that may not know. I wouldn't feel bad about that, I had to Google it myself. Start off by placing a white banner in there with orange dye and apply the base pattern. Grab that, put that in. Place a white dye in there and apply the bend pattern. Grab that, put that in. Put orange dye in there and apply the pale pattern. Grab that, put that back in. Put white dye in there and apply the chief indented pattern. Grab that, put that back in. Place orange dye in there and apply the ball jaw indented pattern. Grab that, put that back in. And finally, place white dye in there with the thing pattern. And that is an ampersand. Next, we have to make the letter B, which is an orange banner with some white dye, pale dexter, pale sinister, chief, fess, and base. Next is U, which is the pale dexter, pale sinister, and base pattern. Next is S, which is chief, base, and bend. Next is T, which is chief, and then pale. Next is R, which is simply the pale dexter, chief, and then bend pattern. And believe it or not, we don't need to make any more. However, I would like to give you guys an option. This is what the banners look like right now. However, I think if we grab those same banners, which are all mixed up now, we throw every single one of them, except the ampersand, in the loom and apply the ball jaw pattern, I think that these will have a much nicer impact for the sign. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, I'll show you what both of them look like, just in case you don't feel like doing it yourself. But I promise you that it really does look nice. So, 1 second. You can see that the original set are obviously bolder, but these ones contrast nicely, and I feel as though that you can just read the letters a bit better, especially when they're going to be applied up to a muddy surface. So I'm going with that set, but you could happily use either. The choice is yours. Anyway, regardless of what you choose, we will place a D, A, V, E, ampersand banner here. Or set of banners, I should say. And then B, U, S, T, E, R, S banners right here. And once you've done that, you've completed the front of the build. Next, we are going to make the right and left side of the build. This is done in the same way. We'll begin by extending the light blue concrete at the top of this wall all the way backwards like this. And we will join down. We will then place a birch slab here, birch plank here, join the plank down to the ground, extend a row of birch slabs extending all the way to the front of the build. We will then extend the top of the white concrete area all the way to the back of the build, and then down to the top of the birch. We will add 2 rows of orange concrete here, and a polished andesite slab on top, which we will then just extend all the way to the front, which gives us a nice empty canvas to fill in. And you guys know exactly what to do. We just fill in each now colour-coded section in with the same material. And now that we have filled the wall in, we are going to remove the grass/grid just along the side of the building here. All the way back. And we can continue and remove just 2 rows all from the side, and then we can fill this in with smooth stone. And that will give us this, which we now want to do all the way over on the opposite side of the build as well. Pretty much the exact same way. So we'll extend the light blue concrete at the top of the wall here, just all the way towards the back. And down. Add the birch slab here, birch plank here, and then extend down to the ground. Then we will place birch slabs extending along the top of the wall here. And then the white concrete at the top of the wall back as well. And down. 2 orange concrete here. Polished andesite slab on top. And then we will extend all the way to the front of the build. And once we've done that, we now have our canvas. And now that we have filled the wall in, we are going to remove the 2 rows of grass/grid from the side, just extending all the way from the front to the back, or back to the front, depending upon which way you want to look at it. Next, we are going to work on the back of the build. I think that the first thing we should do, though, is extend our light blue concrete all the way across the back here, just to connect together at the bottom, and then probably also at the top as well. We will also extend the white concrete area, left and right too, and the orange and the andesite as well. But what we won't do is extend the birch portion yet. So I suppose in essence we are kind of doing what we've just done on the previous 2 sides, but we're kind of just extending the concrete and the andesite for now. And we can even fill these areas in actually. So now that we have done that, we are also going to extend the light grey concrete area up as well. We'll place a row of 1, 2, 3 light grey concrete like this, extending up from the corner, and then we will extend to the back wall, and all the way across, and down, and to this wall as well. And then we will fill the sides in here with light grey concrete, although we do have a small window to add just next to the door. So next to the door, we will place 1, 2 light grey concrete, and then 2 black stained glass paint. And then we will fill the areas in using light grey, just like this. That is perfect. Next, we are going to give this thing a roof by placing a row of 1, 2, 3 polished andesite stairs like this, and then we will top the roof off with just regular polished andesite. So we can now just extend all of those stairs around both the edge of the walls and then the top. Then we've just got 1 extra here. And then we can fill this in. And that looks great. Next, we are going to remove all of the remaining grass and grid from the back of the build. There's pretty much no nature back here at all. Except some leaves, actually. So I am contradicting myself a little bit. There is a small strip of leaves. Okay, so now that we've done this, we are going to place a row of oak leaves along the left side of this building, which we will extend an additional row upwards. We are going to add some car parking spaces by placing 1, 2, 3 cyan terracotta like this, white concrete, and then 1, 2, 3 cyan terracotta. So we are going to extend the cyan terracottas all the way towards the back of the build, leaving a gap of 2 here at the end. We want to have 2 rows of stone that kind of just sit at the end here. So let's extend all of the cyan terracotta this way. And we want to extend the white concrete all the way almost to the end. I think that we'll actually leave a gap of 2 here at the end and then turn it into cyan terracotta instead. So it's not just like a really long strip of white for some reason. And then we can place some yellow carpets at the top, which looks pretty good. And just whilst we are on this side of the build, we are going to place my signature lamppost, which is 2 polished black stone wool, a beacon, and then black carpet on top. Then we will place a series of smooth stone just along the back of the kitchen area here. So just hugging the wall. Like this. And then we are going to have 2 rows of stone just right here. And then we will fill this section in with cyan terracotta. And I myself have a box truck parked here typically, so that's why we have like this random bit of space here. We're also just going to, before I forget, we are going to extend the birch slabs in / underneath the white concrete. So we will, I think that we'd rather have them than these stairs. I think that that's a nice clean look, so we will just leave it like that. And just to finish this off, we will place a couple of iron bars here, so kind of like leaving a gap of 2 from the door and from the end of the building. We will place spruce stairs underneath this window with spruce trapdoors flipped up either side. And then right at the end here, we'll have a 2x2 square block of iron, polished tough wall here, and then a stone button. And that's about as detailed as we are going to get. Last detail for the outside, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to make the roof. I am using andesite for the roof, just so that we have a bit of a different material choice than what we've used already, and we are going to place it in this position. So, in line with the bottom row of orange concrete, we're just going to have a big, massive slab of andesite, but not andesite slabs. Wordplay. This next part is optional. Up here, you may want to add some like aircon looking things. So like some 2x3s of a block of iron with some rails on top. Maybe even like a polished andesite here, tough wall here. Maybe some ductwork in the form of like some polished tough wall, just like this, kind of like extending around in the corner. Something like that is fine. And then, I mean, you don't even have to add anything else at all, just a very small detail, but I suppose it kind of makes things look a little bit more realistic. With the entire outside of the build complete, we can now head inside and begin work on the interior. First of all, we are going to head all the way over to the back left-hand corner of the build. We are going to count to the right and find the 6th block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we will place 3 grey concrete. 1, 2, 3, extending forwards from that block. Remove the next block in the ground, place a smooth stone instead, oak door on top, and then 3 more grey concrete. 1, 2, 3. Remove the next block, place a smooth stone with an oak door on top, place a grey concrete, and then extend the grey concrete to the wall, just like this. Extend this grey concrete to the wall, just like this. Remove all of the grass from inside of these 2 rooms. And replace it with smooth stone. We are also going to add grey concrete and cover up any of the light blue concrete that we might have along the walls here. We will then extend the grey concrete up to, at the very least, equal the height of the surrounding light blue concrete, but we will adjust all of the walls individually later. You'll see why when we get there. Almost every single wall inside Dave & Buster's has a bit of a different design, so I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. And that will give us these 2 perfectly sized rooms, which are going to be the bathrooms. For the outside of the bathrooms, I'm going to recommend adding some paintings, just here and here. What are the odds that they're the same? I am not doing well with paintings today. Anyway, we are then just going to apply a sign above each one of the door that just literally just reads the word toilet. If you'd like, you can have male, female, toilets, bathroom, whatever. I mean, you could really just label it what you want. Let's split the difference. Bathroom, toilet. Well, either way, head into one of the 2 rooms and begin by placing an upside down smooth quartz stair here in the corner, spruce trapdoor on top, 2 rows of oak planks to the right, which we will extend forwards, another door in front of the toilet. In the corner here, we will place a light grey concrete, throw down loom, open it up, light blue banner in there with some white dye, apply a bend pattern, followed by a gradient pattern, stick black dye in there and apply the bore jaw pattern. We can then apply this banner above the light grey concrete with an item frame in front. And then on the wall here just to the right, we are going to place a smooth quartz stair with a button underneath it and a flower pot on the ground. And this is just a really nice simple bathroom. And we are going to do the exact same thing here in the next room as well. So this is identical. Upside down stair, spruce trapdoor, couple of rows of oak planks extending forwards to the right, another door here, light grey concrete here, mirror banner here, item frame here, smooth quartz stair here, stone button, and then a flower pot. And there we go, as simple as that. And just to finish this off, we are going to place some block of iron directly above each one of these 2 rooms, like this. And then we're going to hop back inside and we will place a light in here somewhere. So if you wanted to, you could just go for something simple like sea lanterns. So like right here, couple of sea lanterns right in the middle, or if you wanted to go fancier, and we'll go for both because why not, then you can really make a decision, we can go for like a lantern here and we can surround it with acacia signs. This is my preferred design, but it is busier, unfortunately. You could get around that by, if you were really keen on this design but you were like, it's kind of a bit too big, shift the ceiling up one row like this, so this would be taller. I would probably place it there instead of there. So it really depends if you like that or if you just like the nice simple solution. I actually legitimately like both. Next, we are going to mark out the bar/restaurant area. Leave a gap of 3 right of this grey concrete, 1, 2, 3, and then place a row of 9 light blue concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, and then remove all of the grass extending right and replace it with orange terracotta. Although there will be some grey concrete applied to this wall on the right that will extend all the way to this back wall here, so we're just going to put a little bit of it there now, and then we can just place some black stained glass pane here. Next, we are going to remove all of the grass from inside of the building, or I should say from inside of this part of the building, as we do still have the kitchen somewhere over here behind us. Although that is a problem for later. I think I'm going to do my usual create a border all the way around the edge of the build technique. And then we can just get rid of everything from the middle. I wouldn't recommend this, but for some reason, this just feels right to me. So now that all of the grass is gone, we are going to actually fill the floor in with a checkered pattern of light grey and grey wool. So I'm sure that I don't have to explain what a checkered pattern is to you guys, but we will place alternating light grey and grey wool exactly how I'm doing now, but everywhere. And my personal recommendation would be to place all of one colour first. That's what I'm going to do right now, which is, for me, going to be the light grey wool. There is actually no reason that I chose light grey at all, I just did. And once we have placed all of this, we can then, and I gotta say, that kind of looks cool actually, we can then just place all of the grey wool afterwards, which I just find so much easier than having to alternate in between the two blocks. There we go. So the only thing that maybe we should do is just replace underneath these doors with the walls as well. I think that looks pretty good. Or we could even go for like an orange terracotta underneath the wall blocks. I think that is a perfectly valid option too. And yeah, look at that. Next, we are going to head all the way over to the bar/restaurant area. And over here in this corner, we are going to place 2 inwards facing looms. Just like this, with a polished blackstone stair here and a painting here. Leave a gap of 1 and then place a door here, although the floor material inside is going to be smooth stone. So if you want to remove that, replace that with smooth stone, then place the door, that would probably be better. Leave a gap of 1 and place 3, 1, 2, 3 white concrete along the wall, brewing stand here, brown candles here, and green candles here. We then want to leave a gap of 1 on the wall and then remove 2 rows out of it, just like this. Then we want to come all the way over to the back right corner here and place a row of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, orange terracotta, and add another row on top, just like so. Then we will place a spruce stair here, leave a gap here, leave a gap here. Place end rods in front of the stairs with cyan carpets on top. Then leave a gap of 1 from the end rods and place 2, 1, 2 spruce stair here in this position with end rods in front, cyan carpet on top. Spruce stairs on the opposite side, then leave a gap of 1, more stairs, end rods, carpet on top, more stairs. I was also thinking about just having like a single table like this and maybe turning this into a double table as well, only because it kind of like fills this space a bit better. It may even look a bit nicer to flip these around as well. So that might look a little bit better. I certainly think it does actually. Then we are going to turn our attention to this area where we will leave a gap of 1, place a spruce stair, end rod, spruce stair, white concrete, spruce stair, end rod, spruce stair. We can then place cyan carpets on top of the end rods, the banner that we made for the bin outside earlier here, and then an acacia pressure plate on top. Next, we are going to make the bar area. To do this, we will leave a gap of 1 from in front of this door, and then we will place 1, 2, 3 white concrete, extending forwards like so. We will then extend all the way over to the right, and the goal is to line up just right of this window. and then we'll extend inwards by 2. We will then place spruce stair along the bar in this pattern. I'll just show it you in a second. I think it's easier to show rather than tell. This way, all of the stairs are kind of 1 block away from each other, just all the way around. In addition to this, we will place a barrel here with a smooth stone slab next to it. We will then place a lever on top of the barrel, and then we want the same thing on the opposite side. So we'll have a barrel here this time. We will then have the smooth stone slab here, detect rail here, and then lever here. And I would prefer the levers to be facing inwards for some reason. I don't know why. And then we can just kind of like litter the bar with different things. So just different item frames. And I mean, you don't have to go too crazy. Something like that would be just fine. Carpets and pressure plates would work as well. I don't want to clog my inventory too much though. And this is looking pretty good, but I think now might be a good time to extend this back wall upwards. And what I mean by that is we are going to place light blue concrete extending all the way along the inside of this wall, just all the way up to the top, just like so. Notice that I haven't went beyond the toilets, and there's a reason for that. We are then going to place 2 rows of orange concrete extending from across the top of this door and across the top of the window all the way across to the opposite side of the bar, just like this. And whilst we're kind of at it in this area, we are going to extend the grey concrete walls up as well. These will also go as high as the ceiling too. Just like this. Next, we are going to hang some lights from the ceiling. The position for the first one is right behind this chair. We are just going to place a set of chains extending all the way up from the ground to the ceiling, because I think that this is an easier way of doing it. And then we are going to have a chain that is 4 rows long, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we will remove the rest of the chains. We will place a lantern on the end, and then acacia signs around the lantern. And now that we have one of these, we can leave a gap of 2, so 1, 2, and do the same. Gap of 2, do the same. We only want to have 3 of these in total, and they want to be identical. So 4 rows long, lantern on the end, and then we can apply our signs. And that will give us this. We also want to have some TVs as well. I'm starting to think that we should increase the height of this wall just a little bit. So we'll just add just a couple of rows of grey concrete just directly on top. I don't want to go too far. We will then leave a gap of 2 from above this table here, so 1, 2, and then we'll place 2 black concrete on the wall, and then a set of iron bars extending up from the right black concrete. To the left of this, we will leave a gap of 1, and then we just want to have a 1x1 painting, and then we can apply a painting here as well. We also want to have a TV. I think that we're going to suspend it just above this chair here, and it's once again, it's just going to be a row of 2 black concrete, and then we'll have iron bars extending up, just like this, and we'll stick paintings just either side of the black concrete, just like so. I would say that this is the bar/restaurant area complete. So now let's head all the way into the back of the build now, and begin work on the kitchen. So I'm thinking that step 1 is to just remove all of the grass block that we have in here. And we can replace it with smooth stone. just like this. We do also just have to replace underneath this door as well, so we'll chuck an oak door here. Next, we are going to make a wall. So just leave a gap of 1 from this door and place a row of light grey concrete that just extends from front to back, just filling in all of this empty space. Then remove 2 rows from this middle area, or as a matter of fact, 2 rows of 3, and place andesite at the top. Item frame here, stone button here, couple of oak shelves here, just like this. Next, let's turn our attention to the opposite side of the room, where we will place a row of 3, 1, 2, 3, polished andesite along this wall, with a rail here, 2 iron trapdoors here with flower pots on top, then a stone stair here, lever here, polished andesite here, and then 2 rows of 3 light grey concrete built up in this corner. We are then going to place 2 furnaces, 1, 2 right here, with stone stairs here, and polished blackstone pressure plates here. We will then place 1, 2, 3 polished andesite here, just like this, and the same just above. Then we'll place a pale oak shelf here, brewing stand here, flower pot here. We'll stock these shelves with just some random dies, they can be any. And then we'll stick some scaffoldings over here next to this. Maybe we'll even make them a little higher, just like so. You can even stick some item frames on here as well, and you can place like different things in the item frames if you like. We are going to leave a gap of 1 from this scaffolding and place 1, 2 polished andesite, which we will extend this way by 3 rows. Melon here, some red candles here, some yellow candles here, acacia button here, bamboo pressure plates here. We will place 2 rows of 3 block of iron on this wall with stone buttons placed like this, and then we will have a pale oak shelf here. And I think that maybe we can just have some tools in here, so just any iron tool will do. And once you've done that, we kind of have to figure out what we're doing with the ceiling. We can... I wonder what happened there. We can just remove this white concrete here. And I am thinking that maybe we... shall we use stairs? No, I don't think so, actually. I think we'll just go with just straight up andesite, and we'll just fill this entire ceiling in. We do also have to come up with a lighting solution as well. I'm always torn on the lights. I never know whether to just sea lantern it, or to use the exact same light fixture which I use all the time, which is, of course, the lantern and the sign combo. So if we were to do the lantern and sign combo, I'd probably place it about here. There isn't a center of the ceiling, and you could even place like 1 here. And it'd be the same sort of thing again. It'd be the lantern and the surrounding signs. You could also go for something a tad more industrial, which would be the levers and end rods, which I will also show you because you might prefer it as well. I wouldn't necessarily dislike it in here either, but it'd be something like this, placed like this. This might even be a little bit better, so like you could place 1 just on the outside of here, and you could place 1 on the outside of here. So what are we thinking? Do we go for the lanterns or do we go for that? Let's go for this. So this one, I've already made it, so I'm just going to shift it here, and then we'll add another one over here as well. If I don't remove the signs first, they will just drop on the ground, and that will annoy me. So let's do this. There we go. I think that probably fits the room a little bit better, doesn't it? Nice. So this is the kitchen. I'm quite happy with it in its current state. Now let's take care of the small little walk-in freezer that we have here. So first of all, we are just going to apply some block of iron to this wall and this wall, just like so, with some iron trapdoors here and here, just on both sides. We will then apply... I'm not certain whether to just absolutely stock these shelves out with item frames or to have some missing ones. Maybe like 1 here, for instance, and maybe like 1 here, something like this, to at least show that maybe like some things are missing. We could really be a bit sparse on this side as well if we wanted to. And then we can chuck some things in these item frames. So I was thinking like on one side we have just like raw meat, and on the other side some vegetables, but literally just anything that you like, really, just something to stock the shelves. And if you want to make it look a bit more freezery, the old trick is to stick a campfire in the floor and then a slab above it, so that you get this effect. It makes it look as though it's cold. And then we can just place some andesite to fill the ceiling in, like this. And then it's up to you how you want to light it. I mean, I think if we were going to do it in any room, I think that the sea lanterns in the ceiling for this room would probably be the way to go. And that's it. That's the entire kitchen area and bar area and toilet area. Pretty much complete. Next, we are going to work on the prize area. But before we do that, we actually have to apply some grey concrete along this small section of wall here, extending from the toilets all the way to the front wall of our building. And the grey concrete has to go about one row higher than the actual light blue concrete section itself. So something like that is great. Next, we are going to place a row of 4 white concrete, 1, 2, 3, 4, against the toilet wall, with a smooth quartz slab on top. We will also place smooth quartz block in front of the white concrete and extend that slab both forwards and all the way along to the side wall. We will also place some smooth quartz block extending down just like this, and then we will fill this middle section in with white concrete just like so. We are then going to place some orange concrete. We'll place 1, 2, 3 here, with a couple of rows of pale oak shelf here. Then orange concrete here against the shelf, and then we will have a smooth quartz block here. Next, we will leave a gap of 1 and then remove 1, 2 rows to the left, leave a gap, remove 1 row, leave a gap, and then just mark this out with a smooth quartz. Extend the blocks that we removed up by 2 rows and place 2 pale oak shelves here, painting here, and then some iron trapdoors here. Or maybe we'll even... No, that's a good position for them. We will then, next to the smooth quartz, place 1, 2, 3 orange concrete. And then we will have 2 rows of 2 pale oak shelves like this. And then another row of orange concrete on the opposite side. And by the way, we're basically just copying what we've done over there. And then, to finish this off, we will place 1, 2, 3, 4 smooth quartz block here. Smooth quartz slab on top, which we will then extend to this outer wall. We'll extend all the way down to the ground using a row of smooth quartz, but we will then fill the middle in using white concrete like this, and that will give us this appearance, which is just quite nice looking, if I do say so myself. And then above these shelves here, I would recommend either adding a painting like this, or maybe like a... The game loves that awful painting. It's like my least favourite, but fine, I'll even take that one. I don't even like it, but I'll accept it. But we can have a couple of paintings in here. You can either go for something like this or something like this, perhaps. We then have to stock the prize shelves. It doesn't really matter what you put in these, as long as you think it looks cool and you're happy with it. I'm going to be a bit lazy and stock this side with diamond pickaxes, golden shovels, iron axes, bows, crossbows, and then arrows, and I have just repeated this onto this side as well, just so I don't have to grab out a bunch more things. And then back here, I am just going to use diamond swords, golden swords, and iron swords just to fill this set of shelves in. Then I'm going to fill this little alcove in here with just various different tables because I think that they look cool. and we are going to place some different heads over here that just look like some form of plushie or something. And if you want to, you can go a step further and you can place some like golems just like stacked on top of the orange concrete as well, or maybe you could have like a golem here in its place. But something like this I think looks pretty cool. You could even say stick like a target block up here, maybe some TNT, just normal everyday sort of things. We will also have a counter, which is made by leaving a gap of 1 from in between these orange concretes, and then just placing a row of light blue concrete like this. Then polished blackstone stair here, item frame here with some paper inside of the item frame. We also have to make a sign that hangs down above the counter as well. So this is made by placing a row of blue concrete that basically sits right here. It just touches the orange concrete diagonally. It is in front of the orange concrete and it is 2 rows high. That's how you make like the hanging portion of the sign. We then stick some iron chains here with some pale oak fence on top, and then we still actually have to make the ceiling material. So all of the like chains and the fence that we've just placed, like they will actually connect here like so. We probably should do that after we make the counter or something, but there we go. Next we have to make some banners. Throw down loom, open it up, yellow banner in there with white dye. The first letter we have to make is P, which is the pale sinister pattern. Grab that, put that back in, put yellow dye in there, apply the Perfess inverted pattern, put white dye in there, apply Fess, pale Dexter, and then Chief. Next is R, which is the pale Dexter pattern, Chief, and then Bend. Next is I, which is just the pale pattern. Next is Z, which is Chief, Base, and then oops. You know what? This is fine because we actually need the S anyway. But to make the Z, Chief, Base, and then Bend Sinister. And finally E, which is the pale Dexter, Chief, Fess, and then Base patterns. Now, I would recommend, once again, just like throwing these back in the loom and applying a yellow bourgeois pattern around each one of these, just to make the letters stand out a little bit. I think that they look better this way. You may agree, you may disagree. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Shouldn't have got rid of the loom either. But once you have made your banners, we can just apply the word prizes, just like this. That is the prize area complete. Next, we are going to make what I will call the reception area. To begin, we have to place some grey concrete against this wall, extending all the way to the actual entrance. And once again, the grey concrete has to go about as high as the other grey concrete. We have a decision to make later, but for now we'll have something that should look like this. And then along this back wall, we are going to place light blue concrete that extends all the way up and as high as the grey concrete, just like so. We also have to place a row or 2 rows of 3 acacia shelves like this. Then polished blackstone stair here. White concrete in front, which we will extend left and right to equal the width of this space. Polished blackstone stair here. Item frame here with a paper inside. And then a flower pot here. Then we will place a lectern here with a pale oak sign here. And then on this wall, we want to have, let's go for a 1x2 painting, because why not? And then along here, we can have a set of ticket machines. I'm going for just this set of colors, just something nice and colorful like this, but you can choose any. And above each one of these machines, I've done that in the wrong position. I want to have just a bunch of 1x1 paintings, or maybe even just like a sign. So maybe like a couple of paintings and then a sign or something like this. That's perfect. We also have to make some banners for these machines. Throw down loom, open it up. Black banner in there with, let's say, red dye. We apply the Fess pattern, bourgeois pattern, and then the base pattern. And we want to do this for every single color of machine that we have. So we've got a line one as well. So fess, ball jaw, base. Let's put them here as well. And then lastly, we have a blue one. So fess, ball jaw, base. And we can stick this on every single one of the ticket machines, which look perfect. And not only that, ladies and gentlemen, we also have to go outside and steal our banners. Well, it's not really stealing if it's ours, is it? But we have to go and reclaim our banners. I think that that's all of them. And our goal is to place them inside of these shelves. Now, the way to do this is by placing the D here, A, V, and then E, and then we place the ampersand here, and then we place B, U, S, T, E, R, S like this, and then that way they are centered just nicely, just like that. Now that we have made the reception, I think that we really should take care of the rest of the wall situation. So I'm going to start off by extending the grey concrete across the top of the wall here and down to the opposite side of the entrance. And we are just going to make the two remaining walls grey concrete. Or at the very least, we want the walls to be grey concrete as high as the rest of the grey concrete. So we're just extending along the front wall here and the right wall. Up to this height. Now, the question becomes, are you happy to just have like grey concrete walls, or do you think it might look cool to apply a layer of white concrete at the top here? Followed by a row of smooth quartz block to kind of like really nicely frame these walls in. You'll get a better picture of this once we've done both this and applied the ceiling as well, actually, which is next on the list. But if we take a quick look, I think it looks pretty cool, especially like in contrast with all of the various wall shapes and stuff that we have here. Shapes. I guess they are different shapes. Anyway, we are now going to add the ceiling. So I did settle on block of iron for the ceiling. I was initially going to kind of just like go with the grey, like an andesite or something like that. But I do think that block of iron kind of, it does contrast nicely against everything else, because the floor is very dark and we do have a lot of dark elements with like the grey concrete about as well. But I think, and you can give it a little test, I think that a block of iron kind of stops the place looking a bit too gloomy, but you could just keep the andesite if you wanted to. However, I've chosen it, so I'm going to stick with it. You do feel free to choose a different material if you like. I'm going to start off by filling in the ceiling just on this left section here, and just so that it gives us a nice smooth shape to fill in. So all the way to here, and then it's just nice and easy. And there we go. It just took us till almost the end of the tutorial to do the walls and ceiling. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's about time that we made some games. Let's start all the way over here. We have to begin by removing 1, 2, 3 rows of grey concrete from the wall, just like this. We will replace the left and right rows with orange terracotta, and then we will place a black concrete here, target block here, and then black concrete extending down. We will then place a row of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 orange terracotta here, and here on the opposite side, 2 here, and 2 here. We will flip up some oak trapdoors on both the left and right sides with black stained glass paint across the top. We will place an acacia sign here, which we're just going to have like a scoreboard. So it's up to you what you want to write in there, but I'm just going to go for 0 for every single machine we make. Cut red sandstone slabs across the top there. Iron bar here. I'm also going to remove the wall from the base here and replace it with black concrete. Black stained glass pane here. Then, just to finish up, we will place an orange shulker box here and a cobweb here. And that is a basketball game machine. There is an optional extra that we can add to this machine and many more of them, but I'm actually a little bit torn as to whether or not it's an improvement. Maybe you can help. First of all, we have to make a banner. This is made by throwing down a limb, light grey banner in there with black dye, apply the fest pattern, bourgeois pattern, and then we will apply the per pale inverted pattern. Grab that banner and apply it to the left side of the machine, and then apply a polished blackstone button to the right side of the machine. So this could conceivably be some sort of coin slot or something, and this is like a start button or something. I'm not certain that this is an improvement. I will, however, keep them on there for now, but I think that I'm going to leave it off of the other machines until we've made them all, and then we can choose. Next, we are going to remove 3 additional rows of grey concrete right of the basketball machine, and we will place a row of blue concrete extending up the left, top, and then down the right sides of this wall, with a target block here, green terracotta here, lime terracotta here, and then a green terracotta here. We will extend the bottom 2 blue concretes forwards by 4 rows, just like this. We will remove the base and place alternating lime and green terracotta blocks, just like this. We are then going to place a black stained glass pane here, 2 blue concretes here and here, with a black stained glass pane here, brown shulker box here, flip up some spruce trapdoors on the left and right side like this, with spruce vents here and here. We also want to create kind of a cage around the top like this by placing 2 rows of iron bars on both sides and then connecting them together at the top. Then we are going to place a pale oak sign above the target block, which once again is just like a scoreboard or something, so feel free to write in there whatever you like. And then we will place some smooth quartz slabs across the top here just to cover up the iron bars. And this is an American style football game. Next, skee ball. Begin by placing a row of 1, 2, 3 yellow concrete here. Target block on the middle block, yellow concrete left and right, black concrete above. Then we will place yellow carpet on top, mangrove sign above the target block, and once again this is just a scorekeeper, so whatever you want to put in there. We will then extend the left and right yellow concrete blocks here forwards by 1, 2, 3, 4 on both sides. We will then place a mangrove slab here, and then slowly extend these slabs down into the ground, just like so. If you wanted to, you could make it a little bit more gradual, kind of like this. So it was a bit more of a slope, but it doesn't really matter, to be quite honest. We are also going to place some black stained glass paint surrounding the target block at the back there. And then lastly, all we've got to do is grab a wither skeleton skull and place it right at the end here. And that's all there is to it. Next, some generic arcade cabinets. We will begin by placing a light blue concrete here, then a lime, yellow, and then red concrete. Leave a gap of 1 above each one of these, and then place the same coloured block. Then on the right side, we just want to block this off and place a bunch of 1x1 paintings in between the concretes. Stone buttons in front of these and levers on top. And there you go. Nice and simple. To the right of this, we are going to make what is best described as a clown knockdown throwing game. If I remember, here is an image of what I'm talking about. If you've been to an arcade recently, you might have even played this. It's one of my personal favourites. To make it, we will place a row of 1, 2, 3 yellow concrete to the right here, leave a gap, and then do the same. Across the top here, we will place alternating red and white concretes, which we will extend forwards by placing the opposite block. We also want to remove the grey concrete here and place light blue concrete instead, with skeleton skulls or just some sort of head in front of the light blue concrete. We will stack up a spruce slab here, but we do want to extend down using either a slab or a stair block. Surround the slab using blue concrete like this, and then place iron bars on the left and right. Maybe we could even improve this by placing some black stained glass paint, kind of just wrapping around like so, and then we can further extend the blue concrete forwards, and perhaps even add an additional row of spruce slabs like this. I think that actually looks a little bit better. Then we could feasibly grab the ball that we are throwing at these skulls. Then simply place an item frame here and a mangrove button here, just like so. Next, we are going to make some simple claw machines. Leave a gap of 1 against this wall and then just remove 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, and then 2 rows above, just like this. Place 1, 2 yellow concrete here and 2 light blue concrete here, and extend each one of these forwards. We want to have a set of 2x2 paintings across this back wall, and in here we'll place an item frame here, and then prizes next to them. We will then stack a bunch of glass in front of this and match some carpet to the top of the machine. So for the yellow one, yellow carpet, the blue carpet, of course. And then we will place stone buttons here and levers here. Nice and simple. Next, we are going to come all the way over to here, as we have pretty nicely packed out this little corner section of the wall. Next, we are going to make 2 whack-a-mole style machines. As a matter of fact, it will be whack-a-creeper and whack-a-zombie. Begin by placing a row of 3, 1, 2, 3 green concrete in this position. Extend backwards 2 rows, 1, 2. Place 2 rows of green terracotta, 1, 2, on top of this back row. Stick a row of black carpet on top of the terracotta, and then a mangrove sign here, which again, it's just a scoreboard, so however you want to fill it really. We will then place item frames here, 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 and here, or in some configuration like that, and then some whatever it is that you want to whack in the remaining places. I've chosen zombies for this one. And then on the back of this, we are going to make a very similar thing. We will place a row of 1, 2, 3 red concrete extending forwards from the green concrete, 2 rows of terracotta at the back, which we will stack black concrete on top of. And then in a similar sort of configuration, we will have a bunch of item frames and then some creeper heads. And then once again, just like some sort of scoreboard, which I'm realizing may actually be a little bit irrelevant, as we are going to throw down limb, open it up, black banner in there with lime dye, apply the bend pattern followed by the ball jaw pattern, which we are then going to place along the back of each one of these machines, which is effectively the score. But I'll tell you what, I do kind of like this. So maybe this represents like a ticket counter and that represents like the actual score in the game or something like that. I'm thinking we could even place a lever on like these sides just like this to represent like the hammer. Or maybe you could go with something like a polished blackstone wall and a heavy core as kind of like the hammer, so to speak. So like whichever one of those you would prefer, you can certainly, or just do both or something. Like anything like that would be fine. You could even remove that, but that's how I'll leave the whack-a-mole machines. Next, we are going to head all the way back over to here and make another throwing game. Start off by placing 1, 2, 3 light blue concrete in this position, and extend the left concrete forwards by 3, 1, 2, 3, and the right one as well, 1, 2, 3. We will then place 2 spruce slabs here with a blue concrete on the end. We will stick some item frames here on top of these slabs, and then on top of this block we will place 1, 2 yellow concrete, and we will place smooth red sandstone to the left and right of this, stairs on top, and then we will join them together at the top. Then we are going to place a pale oak sign here, which will once again just dictate some sort of score, so you know, whatever you want to put in there. And then we will stick an orange banner here, and then we will place a row of 2 iron bars here and 2 iron bars here with a skeleton skull here. And there we go. Nice and simple. Next, we are going to make an air hockey table. Leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, and then place 1, 2 white concrete powders, followed by a single red concrete powder, and then 2 more white concrete powders. We will extend each one of these blocks this way by 2 rows. We will clad the outside of these concretes with dark oak trapdoors. Then, at the middle, we'll place 2 additional trapdoors flipped up like this on both sides. And we'll join them together with a row of dark oak fence gates, and then a row of blue carpet on top of the gates. Then we will place a polished blackstone button here in the middle with item frames here, and then a pale oak sign just like this on both sides, and we are just going to write 0, 0 in the signs just like this, which also looks like a face, which is actually kind of making me chuckle a little bit on the inside. So now that we have made the air hockey table, we can come all the way over to here. Next to the Whacker Creeper machine, we will place 1, 2, 3 blue concretes, which we will extend 1 row forwards. We will then place 2 note blocks, 1, 2 here, and 1, 2 here, with cyan terracotta in between. We will then stack a mixture of black and white concretes on top of this, with alternatingly placed concretes in front of the first initial row to look like I want to call this a race flag for some reason. Is that even... You guys know what this is meant to look like, right? Anyway, we then want to place a black concrete here, orange concrete in front, then a smooth quartz stair behind the orange concrete, another black concrete behind, stone buttons either side of the black concretes, leathers either side of the orange, glass pane on top of the orange, and then spread that out left and right. And then lastly, we are just going to remove a block left and right of the motorcycle and place cyan terracotta in there. And there we have just a nice simple driving game. Next, we will make a punching game by leaving a gap of 1 right of this blue concrete and placing a polished blackstone. Place a pale oak button in front of this and an item frame as well. 2 red concretes on top, and then a polished blackstone slab on top of that. Extend forwards by 2, attach a chain, and then a red shulker box, just like this. Then we will remove these 2 blocks in from and place black concrete instead. We want to place either this guy is fine, although we're going to be using him for the next machine, so I would prefer the man in white. There we go. And then we are just going to place mangrove signs just along the sides of the polished blackstone slabs, just like this. And there we go. Lastly, we have to make a dancing game. Leave a gap of 1 from the polished blackstone and place 3 1, 2, 3 note blocks. We will then place a row of 3 purple concrete, 1, 2, 3, extending up from the note blocks. Extend 1 row forwards, or it might even look nicer to instead use like blue terracotta, just like this, just for something a bit different. Stick a pale oak sign or a series of pale oak signs, if you like, across the top of this just to dictate some sort of score. Then we will remove 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, in front of the note blocks. Redstone lamp here, 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 and here. No, actually, we'll place a purple concrete right in the middle. And then we will place the magenta glazed terracotta in every direction just to look like a set of arrows. Purple concrete here at the end. Crimson fence on top of the purple concrete. And then we will use the Graham painting in front of the purple concrete like this. And that's it. With that final detail added, we have officially completed this tutorial. However, this video is not over. We must now add our Dave and Buster's into our city. To the city. Initially, I was a little bit torn on where to place this. My first idea was to add it to the beige and terracotta retail park, because it kind of sort of fit in nicely here, except for the fact that aesthetically it just doesn't work. Which unfortunately does lead me over to here. For now, Dave and Buster's is in the new modern storage area, which is growing bigger by the week. Whenever this place gets renovated, it is gonna look crazy. But until then, you may be interested in becoming a channel member. You can click the join button that will be somewhere on the screen right now. This does cost money and is a monthly subscription, but you do get some perks. The first of which is a download link for my city design world. This has every single build that I have placed in my city, arranged in order, and labelled. This perk also comes with schematics for the mods Lightmatica and World Edit, so you can easily reference and copy and paste these builds into your worlds in any way that you'd like. However, if you're not interested in any of that building business, the highest tier allows you to download the most current version of Mini-City. There are also some minor perks, including loyalty badges displayed next to your name whenever you comment something down below on my videos. Depending on how long you have been a channel member, you gain a more prestigious helmet, with the highly coveted gold builder's hat being the most valuable. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.